Hey, have you ever been to one of these movie tavern things where they bring you the food while you watch the movie?
No, I never have. But
It's cool.
this is fun.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a baby. You know?
You're very well groomed baby though. If you were a baby.
Yeah, I do what I can. I'm a baby with a job and a lot of worries.
You're like in charge. You're like the boss baby.
I am a boss baby.
Oh, the boss. Can I tell you the coolest thing though?
Well, yeah, hit me with it.
Buttons.
What's the button do?
I have no idea.
Have you touched it yet?
I've been here for like 3 years, not touched it a single
never
time.
touched
I'm
the
too
button?
scared.
Okay.
So
Well, should we try it? Maybe.
you go first. I don't know.
Kyla, that's the purge. We gotta go.
Why is nothing happening?
The sound, they just need a refill.
No, forget the refill. Let's go. This is our chance to do whatever we want.
They just need a refill. Go get them one.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I am Philip, and joining me this week, Mr. Kody Ford.
Thanks for having me, Philip.
No problem. Thank you for being here. Kody is the Director of Outreach for the Arkansas Cinema Society, so I appreciate you taking the time to be here. And could you, just tell me a little bit more about what you do with good old ACS?
I don't even have a shirt.
Oh, really?
I got a tote bag. So
I did make a donation.
I guess I got to donate. I got to pony up a little bit. Just tell them to take it out of my next paycheck.
Yeah,
or
there you go.
But yeah, with ACS, I came on back in January, and I go way back with Catherine Tucker, our director,
Yeah.
and so I'd always told her, like, if there's ever an opportunity that I can work for ACS, I want to do it. And so the opportunity arose, and I was able to get hired, and it's so exciting because I'm the third full-time person we have. We have a lot of great part-timers on, and I don't live in Little Rock. That's I guess my special skill I have that the other applicants didn't have. I live in Fayetteville, and so I have for a long time. I've done a magazine called the Idol Class, so I kind of got to know everybody in the arts community throughout the state, and so it's been great to take that experience, and now I can apply it to ACS, and I can call like an art center somewhere that I've known for like 3 years, like, hey, let's do something here, So it's been a lot of fun. We're doing done 3 screenings in the last month.
A lot going on with the Arkansas Cinema
We got
Society.
more I can't even talk about
Yeah,
in terms
I
of
bet.
screenings, but
I bet.
Girls Film Lab's coming up too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's an exciting thing, and I think fingers crossed, if we get our funding in, we're going to be able to do some other educational programs. I'm working on that right now, so I'm hoping we can announce that in the coming months.
Yeah, I was talking about the film lab this summer with Rachel earlier.
Yeah,
and,
Rachel's great.
About upcoming Filmland. Filmland is something that does take place in Little Rock every year and is always great. And I just love everything the Cinema Society is doing for the state of Arkansas. And so and the fact that you live in Fayetteville, we're shooting this in Little Rock. I can't thank you enough for being here.
Oh, absolutely. And I can say the only other job I've ever had that's this cool where my boss makes me watch movies was I worked at a golf shop when I was younger, and my very first day working at the El Dorado Country Club in the golf shop, my boss asked me if I'd ever seen Caddyshack, and I was like, no. He's like, get in my office.
Stop thinking. Let things happen and be the ball.
And he put Caddyshack in his VHS player, and so I couldn't start work. That was like my training. That was how I got onboarded there in the golf shop, was watching Caddyshack.
That's fantastic. I was hoping that was where the story was going, and now
I didn't kill a gopher. It could have taken a dark twist. Yeah.
Well, speaking of dark twists, I'm going to use that as a segue.
It's a good one.
And again, I thank you for traveling so far to be here tonight, and I felt kind of bad because it was like, oh, what's coming out this week that you can be here? It's the FOREVER PURGE. We're talking about what the 5th movie in the Purge franchise, and so I wasn't too sure how this was going to play out. But I guess before we get into what you thought about the FOREVER PURGE and initial reaction to that, Where do you kind of stand with the franchise in general, and what did you think going into this one?
I think everyone kind of has like that one fandom that they follow so much, and for me, it's the Purge, and normally I just go around wearing a weird mask and like going up to people's Ring doorbells and doing this and like saying creepy things. It's just a hobby I've had since the first one, and this was just, I'm kidding.
Maybe this isn't as much of an inconvenience as I thought. No.
If my boss is watching that, it's a total
That's
joke.
a total
I
joke.
don't creep on people's Ring doorbells.
I picked up on the sarcasm immediately. I
Thank
promise.
you,
I
thank
promise.
you. But I can say I've seen the original I loved.
Yeah.
And then I saw Purge election year. Oh man, it was like the Sci-Fi Channel did it in like the 90s or something.
Yes, exactly.
And I just feel like if they'd have just workshopped that script, or like maybe let anyone watch it before it was released,
right?
It could have been done better.
Yeah.
Because it had a lot of potential, but then it's just like it is a formula. They have a formula, and so you kind of get what some of the twists and turns are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like there's some bad casting in that one. I like Frank Grillo, but it was just, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was, the series was kind of, I think, heralded by writer-director James DeMonaco, who did the first, I don't know if he did more than the first one as far as directing. He wrote this one, The Forever Purge. But yeah, I was kind of like you. I saw the original Purge, because it's a great concept. Like, it's a great idea for a movie, and legitimately, genuinely frightening.
Yeah.
And then Anarchy kind of blew it up, made it a little bigger, added Frank Grillo. It was okay. Yeah. And then, like you said, election year, I was kind of like out on halfway through, and I didn't even bother with the first Purge. So.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch some of the others. You know, just fill in the gaps.
I think there's a TV series too, maybe.
Yeah, I think there is.
I didn't watch a lick of that, so sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how you get a TV series unless it's all set across. It's like a 24 kind of thing where it's real time or something.
Yeah, and the thing is like it kind of does play like what you just said about how do you even execute this premise over the length of a series. It's kind of like where the conflict I was coming to this movie with, because it was like, okay, so we've run out of different perspectives to look at the actual Purge from, that we're gonna actually just move past the Purge itself and into like people taking this into everyday life, and it's just gonna be a movie about, I guess, mass murderers. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's where I kind of came into Forever Purge at. I was definitely, not optimistic, not highly anticipating or excited about this movie. But what were your like initial thoughts on this latest Purge flick?
Man, I enjoyed it. I'll say that it was definitely better than, I'd put it number 2 of the 3 Purge movies I've seen.
Right.
And yeah, so it was definitely better. But the first one was just done so well, and Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey. But this one, it was fun to see. So many. It's all like the whole movie is made up of people you've seen, but you have to Google them.
Yeah.
And we were talking about some of the people. We had Zahn McClaren, from a Native American actor who was on Westworld, and
Right.
I think he's on maybe something with Jason Momoa, or they're friends. I followed them both on Instagram.
Will Patton, who I always relegate to Remember the Titans, but I know he's been in tons of stuff.
Has he played John McCain in anything yet? Because he's gonna have to.
He's getting to that point.
Yeah, the whole time he was talking, it really just it felt like I was watching John McCain talk. And I guess maybe in the back of my mind I've thought that before, but now that he's older, it really was just like, oh man, make a movie, and put him as McCain. I don't care what it is, just let him play McCain.
I had not pictured that until now, but it makes
the
total
voice
sense.
and even like
sense.
physically in the face, they look a lot alike.
And then you have Josh Lucas, who I feel like is definitely one of those guys who I've seen in a million things. I think maybe was he Sweet Home Alabama?
Oh, honey.
Maybe.
I feel like he's made out with Reese Witherspoon in a movie at least once.
So I may be wrong there, but it's definitely one of those early aughts rom-coms.
He's poor man's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh man. But no, and he's in this, and then I'm gonna butcher her name, but Ana de la Reguera, maybe is how you say it. Which she was in Army of the Dead earlier this year.
Oh, okay, that's where I knew her from. I just kept thinking she looked like Rose Byrne, but
also she was the nun in Nacho Libre.
Hey! Can't you see this woman's a nun?
And then her partner in this, Tenoch Huerta, who plays Juan, and is kind of the lead of the movie. But we kind of get ingrained in the situation of this movie with Josh Lucas and his wife, and Juan and Reguera's partnership, and those two couples, and kind of their arc or their plight of getting out of this purge that has been reinstated, because I must have missed something in some of those movies that obviously I missed something because I didn't watch the last couple of movies, but I guess the purge was not going on for a little while, and now it's been reinstated.
Yeah, that's
something like that. So
it's what they like literally told us. Like there were those parts throughout it where it was just supposed to be. It's like they could have been a little more subtle about it, but I mean, neither of us have seen the last one, so I don't know. But yeah, it was like the party has won again, and they're back in power, and it's like, just give us a crawl like George Lucas would or something.
Yeah, they rely on the news stations and broadcasts of what is happening a lot for their exposition. And we were talking before how if this movie is anything, it is not subtle.
It is on the nose pretty much throughout the whole thing. Well, I shouldn't say throughout the whole thing. There are some moments when they back away from it. Definitely the beginning and then the closing with that narration news clip thing. But yeah, there are some other parts throughout it that it's just like, really in your face. I will say, the one worry I had, do we do spoiler? I mean, it's not like a
so
huge
we'll throw
spoiler.
that up. Got it, good, okay.
In the beginning, they're obviously with Josh Lucas's character and what was his name? The
Juan,
Latino actor. Who played Juan?
Tinoch Huerta.
Yeah. So Juan, and then whatever Josh Lucas's guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna call him Josh Lucas.
Yeah.
He's gonna be real life. There is this sort of like they don't like each other, and then it's kind of like Juan is like, oh, do you not like Mexican people? And I was worried they were gonna get kind of Green Book about it.
Yeah.
That it was just gonna be like by the end of it, like the purge is over and we've solved racism.
Right.
But it's like they kind of moved past that into like we're surviving and we're gonna be friends now, kind of a thing. And because it's like they've been so heavy-handed so far into the film, I was like, let's do we have to go down that?
And like I was saying earlier, like it is such a good premise. Like it's a solid premise for not just a movie in general, but a horror movie or an action thriller type movie. And I just was like, with such a good premise, what are they going to try to say this time? Like where are they going to go with it? Because it seemed very early on like we were just heading towards, we're in this together. We're all in this together. And that's going to be like the main theme of it. I don't know if you took away anything more from it.
When it ended with the rioters storming the Capitol, I was just...
Talk about not subtle.
No, I mean, it did get a little heavy-handed with the politics of it at times, and it's like whenever you finally find out who the villains are, and it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by this, I guess. But, it kept getting a little on the nose, and I felt like they could have dialed it back just a little bit. But I will say, of the ones I've seen, this one was probably, like, you think when you first saw the first one, it's like, well, I mean, this could never happen here, whatever. But this one, like, scared me the most because I could see it happening by, like, October. It's just, because throughout it, they're like, tensions are high, people hate each other. And it's like every time there's, like, a news broadcast, they're like, people don't like each other and they want to kill other people.
They totally could have taken it from wherever, like, actual news stations today.
And so it just, I don't know, that part shook me just a little bit because,
for sure.
I don't know if it could happen on the scale it happens in the film, but I mean, we've seen stuff play on our television we didn't think would have happened before.
Right.
So I don't know, it worried me just a little bit and seemed a little more grounded than like election year did to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wanted to mention the director's name because I had not heard or seen anything he'd done before. Everardo Gout, but he's done a lot of TV work. He worked as a second unit director on Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet back in the day. But yeah, this felt really well structured. Really, like it paced itself well. I felt like it played by the screenplay rules of like how you write a movie and everything. But it felt really well done as far as both directing and pacing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was funny to just see the purge end at the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and it's just like everything's pretty good. We had a couple jump scares, and now here we go. You know, and yeah, and so I will say at the beginning of the second act, I was a bit surprised by how quickly they got into the violence. Like,
Yeah.
I thought there might be a little bit more of a build up, but not really.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
they kind of jump right into it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I mean there are a couple, you know, I guess what you would call set pieces here and there where it's, you know, intense encounters more than anything, and those are fine. But I was really just kind of more surprised that I was invested in the little core group of characters that we, you know, whose story we were along for the ride with.
yeah, and I also just think about, did the goat get away? The goat in the cage. If you
No, I
watch
don't
the trailer,
know.
you might see the goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they should at least, like, they're about to run for their lives. Cut the goat loose.
I was glad we didn't go that direction either because I was getting some serious Saw vibes from that. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, glad we didn't just go full on into
yeah,
that genre.
It was a good fake out
Yeah,
on that,
yeah.
I think.
Like you said, I'm not overly, neither of us really are overly invested in this franchise. I don't think we expected a whole lot from this latest installment. But for what it is within this genre and within like the kind of world that this movie's operating in, it was entertaining enough and interesting enough to be like, oh, maybe there is hope for this, where I thought this was kind of like the last leg of this franchise.
Yeah, it wasn't a cry for help.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a
it,
good way
it,
to
it
put
had some new life, and I guess it's probably because, as you said, the original writer came back
Mm-hmm.
and did it, as opposed to just, I don't know who they've been paying,
have
the
no idea.
interns for
Yeah.
the last few films. I don't know.
And there was a couple of like moments here where like the dialogue felt a little stilted and awkward and
Yeah.
stuff, but overall, like it all kind of like all the pieces, you know, meshed together pretty well. But here on Tavern Talk, what we usually do is out of 5 stars. So for the Forever Purge, what would you go as far as star rating?
I mean, if we're comparing it to other films in the Purge franchise, as
Yeah.
opposed to like Scorsese's entire catalog.
No, just like I always, yeah, and I kind of have talked about that with a couple people in the past. Just like I do the star ratings more on like how well did it accomplish what it intended to be.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's like, if you like these kind of movies, it's worth watching.
Right. Yeah, I was actually gonna go just straight up the middle, like 2.5 out of 5, because I thought it was just like nothing special, nothing exceptional, nothing I'm gonna go out of my way to recommend to people. But if you like, you know, the previous movies, if you're interested in the world or what it might have to say about, you know, the state of things in America as it is and kind of what the commentary is there, yeah, it's worth checking out. And this is definitely, you know, one of the better entries I've seen in this franchise. You know, granted, I haven't seen all of them, but
Yeah,
anything else you wanted to highlight or?
Some bad accents.
Yeah.
Josh Lucas's wife, whose name I also don't remember, she's like, baby, hey baby, come here, baby. I'm like, have you like been to Texas? Have you ever met anybody who's? It was like she had been like they took her from the extra pool from True Blood or something, you know.
Well, 2 things there. Did the sister and the wife look way too similar to you?
Yeah, was that his sister? That's what I kept thinking the whole
Yes.
time. I was like, dude married his sister.
I don't know what they were like trying to go for there. Maybe that was the most subtle commentary in the whole thing, and I don't know what
Yeah.
they're saying, but it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, Josh Lucas really laying on the cowboy act like
Yeah.
heavy. And I know that's kind of like part of the character because the character's supposed to be like a poser, I guess, but like really laying it on thick there, Josh.
Yeah, but he was okay.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
like he was okay. It was
He knew what
I
he was
didn't-
there for, and he
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't bristle at any of that. I mean,
No, I think that's all we have to say and can say about the Forever Purge. But yeah, thank you once again,
Yeah.
Kody, for joining me, for you know, taking in a new Purge movie and being
Yeah.
a good sport about it. And anything we can check out as far as what you're doing. Like, I know you do a podcast for the Arkansas
Yeah,
Cinema
yeah, I
Society
do.
and write a newsletter and everything. Where can we find all that stuff?
so if you go to arkansascinemasociety.org, or you can follow us on Facebook under our name there, or we are at Arkansas Cinema on Instagram and Twitter. And you sign up for the newsletter. We put one of those out once a month, and we put 1 to 2 episodes of the podcast out as well. We do a lot of good panel discussions, and you know, sometimes we're able to get like some bonus episodes when sometimes I just have way too much content.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and so, you know, we'll do those bonus episodes as well. Yeah, so we'd love for people to follow along and come out to our events, come out to Filmland,
Absolutely.
September 29th through October 3rd here in Little Rock.
I'm
I don't think
excited.
we can
I
tell
don't know
exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what's coming this year, but I'm already excited for it.
Yeah, I don't know what's coming either. I've heard a couple things, but I don't. And it's going to be at a really great location. I don't think we've officially announced that,
Okay.
yet, so I can't say. But
Very cool.
if you subscribe to our newsletter
There you go.
or follow us on Instagram and all that good stuff, then you can find out more.
Awesome. No, so many great events and resources with the Arkansas Cinema Society. Check them out if you haven't already. Thank you once again
Thank
for
you.
being here. Want to say thank you to the Movie Tavern as well for letting us see the movies here, shoot the show here as always. And thank you for watching. Definitely appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so you get a notification every time we upload a new review, which we try to do each week of the biggest release. So thank you once again. Thank you, Kody.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Laurel.